It is 6:30 p.m. Welcome to the October 28th, 2024 Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting. Our first order of business actually was delayed. That was the 769 DWY LLC application for review. They postponed that to November 25th, which moves on to us on to our second order of business, which is the USA Chicken and SBNK Merrimack LLC. Is that you? Okay. You can come up to the desk. Review for recommendations to the planning board regarding a waiver, a full site plan review to change the use of the property to a drive-through fast food service. The parcel is located at 421 Daniel Webster Highway in the C2 General Commercial, Elderly Overlay, and Town Center Overlay Districts, Tax Map 5D-4, Lot 91. Could you check the microphone, see if the green light is on?
Yep.
Now it is.
Okay.
Could I have your name and contact information just for the minutes?
Yes, Sip Wadad from USA Chicken and Biscuit.
And I'm sorry, that was Saeed?
Sip, S-I-P.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Do you have any sort of visual aids beyond the plans that were already provided to us?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So could you just give us, I mean, we were given the plan ahead of time, but could you just sort of give us a basic rundown of what your goal is here and I guess what we're building here and what your goal is?
Yeah, just like a vision of
Yeah.
the project as a
Yep.
whole, of
Mhm.
course. So our plan is to create a fast food drive-through. We got acceptance from the zoning board a couple months ago for the drive-through itself, and then the planning board just a few weeks ago accepted it as well. I think the concern lies with the fact that we're a fast food restaurant that deals with grease and oil. I know one of the main recommendations was to have a exterior grease trap. We've never had to do that in our other prior 3 locations. We usually have an interior grease trap that we, monitor weekly. We clean it, we drain all the grease out. But Robert Best, I think, in the email stated to us that he strongly recommended that we have an exterior grease trap, which we're not against. I guess I'm here today to kind of learn from you guys to see which direction to move in is best. We don't have any objections, but I do want to, say that we are a small family business. We're not a big franchise coming in here, having dozens of employees and, our seating area is 16 people. So we'll have 16 people on a busy night, 5 employees per shift. So I don't think we'll be going through the amount of water that a typical franchise will. I think the estimation was closer to 1,300 gallons per day. And we'll have the seating towards the abutter, the chiropractor. That'll be the seating area of the building because the bottom is concrete slab, so the plumbing and the work is tougher to do on that end. On the Railroad Ave side of the building is going to be the kitchen. That's where the basement is, and some of the existing plumbing is already in the basement. So we'll have all of our sinks and plumbing on that end. And that's pretty much the gist of it. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Did the planning board give you any kind of indication why they wanted you to go an exterior grease trap versus interior? I mean, were there any?
No. Yeah, honestly, to be frank, I came here today with not knowing much. I've never been in front of a conservation commission, and I asked my TF Moran, what should I expect? And they said, you guys have the plans, and then the planning board didn't really kind of give me a rundown of what to expect here. I know they had another engineering firm. I forgot who it was. I'll bring it up. Sorry, it's a lot of paperwork. I think they recommended it. The engineers that were are monitoring our plan, I don't know what they called.
They recommended an exterior
Correct.
grease trap.
Yes. I'll pull up.
Is it, I mean, do you have some size limitations in the kitchen and the basement to install something like that? Is that what they're,
I don't know. They said because of the amount of water, but then I told them, so I gave them a breakdown. Manchester, we've been there for 11 years. It's our busiest location. The population is 3 times the size of Merrimack. And we've never had issues with any backflow or anything with the health department in the sense of that. Nashua, we've been there for a year. It used to be a photography studio. We simply converted it to, same thing, change the use into a restaurant. Same interior grease trap. And then we just opened in Salem, but that was existing. I'll see the exact reason why they brought it up, and let's see. I'll tell you exactly what they said and why.
just for our own edification, that might be helpful in the future?
Fuss and
if we make a
O'Neill was the,
reservation?
sorry.
No,
Fuss
I
and O'Neill was
We're
the.
just saying, for our own edification, we can get recommendations from the planning board when they have something like this would be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Fuss and O'Neill was the engineering company
Mhm.
that reviewed our plan and suggested that. And, all right, so this was from Robert Price.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke to Michael Gorman, the town sewer inspector, and this was his response to our
Okay.
plan. He said, in the case of converting this building into a fast food restaurant that will be a significant producer of grease, the minimum size interceptor in our sanitary sewer construction standards would be a 1,000-gallon exterior trap. With the space available in the parking lot, I would not recommend for an exception in this case. This style of food service will create a significant amount of grease and is unlikely that an interior trap would be sufficiently remove the grease from the effluent. The standard detail for exterior interceptor is available in the Town of Merrimack SSES construction detail section. Also, the plumbing on the interior of the building will need to have 2 separate services exiting the building to keep the sanitary separate from the grease-laden effluent. Sorry. If you have any other questions, please contact me. And that was from Michael Gorman, the sewer inspector.
Hmm.
So the sewer inspector is recommending exterior.
Correct.
Is it possible that since this is in the, I believe this is in the aquifer district?
Protection district.
Yeah. So that it's possible since it's in the aquifer district, it might have different regulations set up.
And
as
that's the
opposed
whole
to other-
reason you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
and-
this plan is in the aquifer protection district. That's right by one
okay.
of our wells.
Okay.
Is it?
Uh,
The other
I-
parcel
The application
was-
said it was.
Okay, this one only says elderly overlay and
Yeah.
town center.
Yeah, we don't have the application physically, but it
Okay.
was in the online packet.
Well, sir, I can tell you right now, I'm not as familiar with what the sewer inspector said. I'm not familiar with the grease trap thing, but just to
Oh,
confirm what I
yes.
see in front of me, you're not demolishing a building.
No.
You're adapting an existing one. Is there gonna be any change to the amount of pavement?
No.
Okay, so the actual
Yeah.
building's gonna stay there, the layout's gonna stay the same, it's just gonna be restriped, reconfigured.
Correct. Yeah. If I had to knock it down, it would be too much.
Yeah. Thankfully, the building already had a drive-through, so.
Yeah.
it was a thing.
Yeah, that's the only reason we got it.
I guess that's your only change. You're gonna go from the 3 lanes to the 2,
To the one.
to the 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
okay.
the one. The 2.
There's two lanes to 1, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it used to be 3.
Great.
Yeah, it
was?
went from 3 to 1. So
Okay.
the other ones, they have the tubes, but the bank used to, when we surveyed it, the bank's lanes were going to the abutter's property line. And I knocked on his door and I asked him, and he told me, like, hey, I'm okay with it, but I prefer, and I was like, if it's not my property,
Yeah.
I'm staying out of your way. So we changed it to 1. And we got it to, so the 11 car stack fits right around the building fine. So it wasn't even necessary to have more than 1 lane.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't really have any purview over the grease and plumbing, as long as you're not discharging excess water from your site onto another site or increasing the drain, that's not really our purview.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're not gonna have any storage, any dead storage of grease. It's all gonna be fresh product and then whatever is
Yeah.
washed away.
Yeah, correct. And then we're obviously going to have a container outside for the excess oil that gets emptied weekly, which we monitor very closely. We don't want a greasy lot, you know.
Is that gonna, where's that gonna be stored?
Closer to the dumpster in the fenced-in area in the back right corner.
Is there any curbing in there that allows for, or would stop any grease flow if it did leak?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Okay. What's your plan for snow removal,
For snow removal,
or snow storage?
we have a bunch of space on the railroad side that there's a lot of grass in that side. And if you notice, we have 2 extra spaces, pull-up spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And so that most of that backside will fit right into that. And if we have to get it removed from the lot, then
So this is traditionally a drive-through. You don't really expect a lot of foot traffic. You're expecting predominantly drive-through.
that's the main reason we took it. Our other 2 locations are downtown, which
Mhm.
relies solely on foot traffic, and the more common complaint is that parking and it's not easy access. So our goal here is to focus solely on the drive-through and get people, you know, through that lane as quick as possible. And there's not much foot traffic on Daniel Webster Highway. So.
No, exactly.
Hmm.
Oh, the opening of the town center trails, maybe.
You are on that side of the road, but you still gotta cross the road to get to it.
That's right over the bridge.
Yeah.
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 No, other than the typical snow probe.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, so typically what we're concerned with for the Conservation Commission is that, hazardous waste, excess runoff of like melting snow, things like that. Basically just making sure that nothing's polluting the water system, things like that. But if no one else has any objections, then I can go ahead and write our recommendation to the planning board. I'll get it sent out probably tonight, tomorrow at the latest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. If anyone else is set. Okay, thank you for coming
It was a
by.
pleasure to meet
Thank
you
you.
all in face.
I'll send your recommendation to Chairman Best soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
When are you planning on opening?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's all fingers crossed.
This is probably the biggest project I've worked on.
Mhm.
So I'd say 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we've never converted a bank, so there's a lot of like safes and alarms so it's a lot. Yeah, and then I got to bring in plumbing and so it'll be fun.
Yeah, actually, there was one last question that reminded me of. When do you go before the planning board? Just want to know when I should get this letter to.
I've
Chairman Best.
already passed.
Oh, you already have?
Yeah, so they gave me a conditional approval. I think this is one of them that I had to meet
Okay.
with you guys.
Okay, I see.
And then the other was the grease interceptor, and then the lighting plan, which is being submitted to
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
That's all I
Thank
need.
you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
I like the Manchester location.
Okay, that moves us on to the next part of business, submitted by Gage Perry, naming of Wildcat Falls. Gage?
This is something we talked about in the last meeting, and I think we were just wanted to get some input from Wildcat Subcommittee to see if that was any concern.
Yes, I talked with the subcommittee privately and discussed what was going on, and they have no real objections. They realize at this point, given what's already happened once with the actual closing of the area, that they're kind of fighting for their life with overrunning crowds. So the name is not of critical importance to the area. So, and I guess the question comes up, are we still planning on naming it Wildcat? Are we thinking of something like the Sauhegan River Conservation Area?
My thought was just to get rid of Falls, so,
Just
but,
Wildcat.
yeah, if, I mean, it was 80 acres, we changed the name to Wildcat, so there's nothing stopping us from changing the name again, it's just that the signs are all routed and such, but,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did not have, please, Jennifer.
So I had reached out to Paul and Finley about the renaming of Sklar that we were talking about. I don't know if the same process applies to Wildcat Falls or not, but I can read you Paul's response to that. That the name change would have to come from the Conservation Commission. We would have to research the deed and the Conservation Commission and make sure the sale did not include a specific name to be placed on the site. If not, the MCC would need to bring the name change to the town council to vote on. We would then have to change an ordinance, which refers to them as well, would take 3 readings. So I don't know if
Is that in
that's-
regard to your question on Scalar?
Right. So I don't know if there's something different about Wildcat that,
Well,
That
I
wouldn't
have to
apply,
have
or
the
it should be
deed
the
with
same
me. I'm
thing?
taking a look now.
oh, good, okay.
I don't believe that's in the deed. It may be in the deed for Scalar, though, because, yeah, because Daniel was the one that asked for the name to be part of the property. Did we talk about renaming Scalar when I was not here? I think.
Yeah, it was something,
What-
I mean, what's the official name right now and what do we want to change it
It's
to?
Scalar Waterford Park.
Park was the sticking
Yeah.
point.
I think they want to change the name to Sklar Waterfront Conservation Area or Sklar Conservation Area, something to that effect.
Which brings up the question, is it official that conservation areas are called conservation areas?
No, they don't, it's not.
Okay,
official, no.
it's just a reasonable convention.
Yeah.
There is no mention in the deed of any particular name, just the conveyance of the lots.
Did Wildcat, any of the members want to change the name, or they just,
They were fine with the name change. There's no real objection. They don't, and I think sticking with Wildcat will at least let people know it's the same area. And I assume that we still understand people in town will
Oh,
probably
yeah.
still call it Wildcat Falls.
the same people still call Gateway Hill Suicide Hill. It's the people that live there the longest, so
Yeah.
I don't bother correcting them.
So this would be corrected on the NRPC maps that are being reprinted?
Well, I mean, this is, I mean, do we vote, do we wanna, I don't know if we need to vote on it or what, but, I mean, if we're all in agreement that we should do this, then,
I would think that if we should decide to change anything, NRPC will just need to change the name or, change their files. The
Yeah.
only problem
Yes.
would be if we had 2,500 copies of a map with the wrong name on it. But fortunately, we are at a point where we haven't yet ordered maps for
Right.
the new one.
Correct. That's why I wanted to bring this up. I think we just put our last batch of maps into the kiosk, so we'll probably be out in another month.
Should we have a vote, though? Should we vote tonight on changing the name to,
I don't think there was any particular heartburn over it when we talked about it last week, or the last meeting, was there? I don't remember
Yeah,
anyone having too many
yeah.
concerns about it.
But I'd assume we need an official motion and vote.
Well, this is the, we said that we were gonna vote on it this week, or this meeting, right?
I believe that's what was said.
I think we were generally in agreement that it was,
Mm-hmm.
It was decided no changes would be made until the subcommittee had been consulted. The matter would be taken up again at the next conservation meeting, that is tonight.
The subcommittee has been consulted.
so. I'll make a motion to change the name of Wildcat Falls to Wildcat.
Wildcat Conservation Area.
Wildlife Conservation Area.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes 5-0 to 0.
I will reach out to ComDev and get them to update the town Conservation Commission website on our properties.
Who's our contact with the NRPC? Who's, is anybody leading that charge? So to speak?
I don't think it's anyone here.
Can we assign like someone like Steve who's not here?
Sure. He's in New York. Okay, that brings us to our next agenda item, which was submitted by Karis Welsh, so we'll probably skip unless someone actually has anything to say on it, which is discussion of possible rain barrel event. Did you have?
I know she was gonna check with DPW and see how they had handled, there was a sale. I wanna say it was like 3 years ago, it was probably 10 years ago, when they sold rain barrels and composting machines. So I think she was gonna check on that and let us know.
Okay, so we can postpone that to November 25th. I should also say, last meeting, we did, I had forgotten to update the agenda for this meeting. Last week, we were gonna have vote for approval of lawn alternatives, funding for the lawn alternatives class.
We didn't vote for that already?
I think we wanted, did we want a specific price, or,
Thought
We
voted
said not
on
to
that.
exceed $400.
Yeah,
oh, did we actually vote on
Yeah.
that? Okay, I
yeah,
had.
there were
okay.
two, wasn't it, two
There's two.
different things she
Motion
wanted to do?
carried.
Okay, never mind then,
I think we
Slipped my mind.
wanted to wait on the rain barrel.
Right.
okay. Never mind then, I did nothing wrong. I thought I did something wrong.
And whoever is contacting NRPC about the maps, we'd like to get an overlay with the benches at Wildcat.
It's gonna take some time to get used to that.
Yes.
I
Probably
think we
more
had
time
a
than I have left on
We had a
Earth.
structure overlay, I think it was called.
Right, which would have the
Yeah,
kiosks.
but it was, I think that was just, that there's one for, there's a
structures.
structure overlay, and it's gonna be the same thing for all the, I believe that's what it was called, that's a while ago, but.
And is that an assignment for Steve? Seriously, I just need to know what to put down.
I'll email Steve, just see if he's willing to do it. Also ask in case we did actually have a contact already.
I will volunteer to get the GPS coordinates for the benches.
Okay, that moves us on to discussion, possible actions regarding other items of concern. Tom did want me to mention a few things. He was not able to be here tonight, but he did email me a few items of concern. One was a question. I do not know when, but there were materials purchased for a bridge repair at Greater Woods. Tom said he was there for the repair, so he knows the repair was done, but the business office is looking for a receipt. They can't find it. Does anyone know where the receipt might be?
So are you not on that chain?
Was I not on that chain? When was the last email on that chain?
No, 'cause, no, I sent back to Tom, I said, look, I went and picked up that I went and picked up that lumber, they charged it to the DPW account.
Oh, okay.
So I sent the email to Lori and at DPW and said, you're gonna get a $203 charge, whatever it was, I forget the actual price. So you're gonna get a charge. When it comes through, it's ours. I picked it up. And so she was gonna submit the bill to, Finance. And I believe that happened. Cause she said, yeah, I got the invoice, who do you want me to send it to? And she said, okay, send it here. So I think it's all set. I'm not sure. We certainly can,
But the receipt was sent to finance, is what,
I,
okay.
yeah, because supposedly Lori had it. And she sent it to finance, so.
Okay. Yeah, I did not get any email
Yeah.
after Tom's question.
So I believe it should be complete,
Okay.
but we'll have to catch up with Stephanie and.
Another question was sort of related, because as in a bill that might have been sent to DPW instead of us. Tom asked about the dog poop signs that were basically clean up after your dog signs that we voted on back in February, I believe. We voted on them and we got the funds, but he wasn't sure if we ever got those signs back.
Who placed the order?
Steve did. Steve placed the order. He's placed the order and sent the vendor details to ComDev, but was never. Oh, Steve. He sent the vendor details to ComDev, but he was never sent back the purchase order. And Steve thought it might have been sent. The purchase order might have been sent to DPW instead, because they have been dealing. They were the ones who usually deal with this particular vendor.
Okay.
So Steve's not here though, so I can't ask him directly about it. Yeah, so I guess I was just asking, does anyone have access to any sort of pickup after your dog signs that we might have gotten but just didn't record?
I don't
Okay.
have any.
Okay, so,
And I'm sure that none of them were in the shed
Mhm.
at the time I filled it all up. So if we've added anything to the shed, then I don't know about it.
okay. So I'll follow up with ComDev on that. And, but that is all I have to add for business.
Just a heads up, Horse Hill's going to be bringing forth a nominee for subcommittee next time, and the fact that she's not here tonight is my fault, because I didn't get it on the agenda in time. But we will have, we will be very happy to be bringing forward a name to help fill in one of our slots.
I'd like to bring up a follow-up item related to Wildcat Conservation Area. Is NRPC going to be developing a separate map for the town center trail? We had briefly discussed that during the last meeting.
Yeah, I haven't contacted NRPC about anything related to that.
Because I was also going to put on the Wildcat map update list, a pointer on the easternmost trail that goes down under the highway that says two town center trails.
Yeah, yeah, me and Matt from Parks and Rec have kind of like tossed the ball back and forth on this, because I think we're gonna be taking the lead on making the map that like connects the two. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure where to start with making a map. I mean, I've made the map, but in terms of like, who to contact to like have it like turned into a pamphlet and like
Okay.
make it not a rough draft anymore.
Well, we had those maps generated by NRPC originally.
Well, originally, the Wildcat was generated by me.
Right, well, I'm saying, but the ones that we have now, the trifolds, that were all done by NRPC. And I think it was their GPS that we used to lay out the trails.
Yes,
They
they
had a
got
big- they
data
had a
from a
big-
variety of
They had a
places.
big
yeah.
handheld one that we walked the trails with, and it's, you know, it's accurate to a foot and pings like, 30 times a second type thing, so we could basically, try it to Matt's bike and drive it around, and we got a lot of trails done in a short period of time.
Well, who is dealing with NRPC on the map update, so I can get them the correct information?
I guess we don't have an RPC contact at the moment on the commission.
There is an NRPC staff member on the town center committee, so I don't know if
Oh,
he
He would probably
would be
the-
involved in any of
All right.
that.
Well, who are we dealing with to, for example, reorder new maps? So that we can get the few spelling changes and such made?
Well, we're dealing with, I guess we're dealing with Sarah Sakovic. I'm not sure, I'm gonna try and say her name.
Mhm.
She's NRPC, but she was the one, I think, developing the maps, right? But I believe, there wasn't that many changes. So, there's not really a whole lot of changes to make. They can be, I'm sure we could probably go get them now, get the maps now and just have them printed.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of maps, I asked, by email, asked ComDev about approaching paper graphics. And I said, do we have to do anything to, continue having them do the maps? And neither the town, why can't I remember her name? Neither Paul's office nor ComDev knew right away. They're going to look into it, whether it has to go before town council as a gift to the town. So that is pending. That question's been asked and it's rolling around town hall. So I hope that'll be resolved the next time we meet. Because that's gonna be part of,
So we,
there's generating maps, then there's printing them.
yeah, we should probably get some type of real hard line idea of what we need to get in front of town council. Because I've not ever gone in front of them to say that we just got $300 worth of maps. I've told them, but I've
Yeah,
never gone and.
I've never done that either, but this
Yeah.
is the first time I've been involved in having
Yeah.
mapping done, so.
Yeah, they've done this, they've 3 times generated, thousands and thousands of trifold maps for us. So,
Now, is it related to the new purchasing policies we've all
yeah,
been
that's what I'm
dealing
saying.
with
If
for the
there's
last
something
year?
changed that we need to start abiding by, then we should be helpful to know about it. But, because we've never, we just, I publicly, when we're doing the annual talk with the town council, whatever, I just, and we, volunteer efforts from paper graphics, they've generated all the maps and stuff like that, so we make it publicly known. That's part of the shtick about volunteering for that type of thing, is he wants to get,
So there hasn't had to be an official acceptance of it
No.
as a donation?
not yet.
Not in my time on it, but.
Yeah.
If we need to change that, let's get it
I can
clear.
check.
Yeah,
on that,
it was seeming
please,
like there was some
and
kind of
confirm.
dollar value that seemed to be,
Yeah, I think there's
Where it would be.
certain, if it goes over a certain
Right.
amount, it needs to be accepted, so I can double check on that.
Yeah.
So just to review, so in moving forward with adding the town center trail to Wildcat Conservation Area maps, what should our next moves be? What should our next steps be?
So the consensus was reached at the last meeting that they should be separate maps, but we'd like a legend put on the Wildcat map for the connector trail that says connects, to Town Center Trails and Watson Park. And if they would like to produce a map, then,
yeah, their map should say connects to Wildcat
Mhm.
Conservation Area. Because there are a couple structures on that Souhegan Trail. So that whole Souhegan Trail is gonna be on the town center map?
okay, that's
Is
the
that-
one
is that-
along the river.
Right, is that what your envision is?
I would assume they'll have their own map, otherwise it's going to be a very weirdly shaped
Yeah.
map.
Yeah, well, not, it'd be on map, but you would envision the Souhegan Trail to be on the town center
Yes.
map.
Yes.
And would like the section that's part of the school district be on any map, or is that?
I would think
Yes.
I think it'd have to be on
It
the
would
town
make
center map.
sense to include it on the town center map.
The Wildcat map does not include the area, the trails that are on the state property. We do indicate the section that is state property.
Yep.
But I don't know if we need to make that distinction for town versus school property.
Probably. It'd probably be good to have a boundary on there, just so it's there. I think we do that for the Greater Woods map. I think we specify the boundary of the school property. Because there is some heartburn for people being on some of that property during school hours.
We will leave that to the town center committee.
And who should I be contacting to, like, add in the arrow indicating the new town center trail?
That's what I was asking
Okay.
for, who
Oh,
our
okay.
contact is that deals with NRPC.
Well, if we have an NRPC rep on the
Town center.
town center committee, I think that should be the person that we start with.
So I'd say just reach out to Nelson and
Mhm.
he would have an idea.
Okay, if no one else has any other items of concern, we can move on to the approval of the minutes for October 14th.
It's hunting season, everyone wear orange.
I had no updates.
I just have, on page 6, line 240, from the previous minutes approval, it's changed commissioner job to Counselor Jobin, I believe. It should be Jobin.
Oh,
Where were you?
Thanks for
What'd
catching
you say, page 6?
Page 6,
Oh, okay.
line 240. By the time you get that far into the minutes, stuff starts coming out.
Oh, yeah. It should be, you can, because we did this, they did a cut and replace somewhere because page 2, line 74, I would think we
Yeah.
should probably change your name to Jobin.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. All right, I move that we vote to accept the draft minutes from the October 14th, 2024 Conservation Commission meeting with those amendments. Lines-
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? None abstaining? Motion passes 5-0.
One more thing, this goes back to commission announcements, sorry, but to remind people that the LSIP Walk at Wasserman is next Saturday, the 2nd, at 10 a.m.,
Yes.
and it's open to the public.
Yep. November 2nd, 10 a.m. All are welcome.
Including my dog, I hope.
Yes.
Yes.
And including my dad, I hope.
Okay.
I'm
He
not
says
bringing,
yes.
I'm not bringing my dog this time.
We will both be wearing orange vests.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the town website, it said it was like 3 hours. Does it take that long?
2 hours is usually how long it takes.
and soften
Okay.
within 90 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Squirrels, sometimes
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually 11:40, 11:45 is usually when it
Okay.
ends.
I got lost last time.
Depends on the weather. Nice days, we are out there longer sometimes.
Everything's set. Would anyone like to make the motion to
Make a motion to adjourn?
adjourn?
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? All abstaining. It passes 5-0.
No meeting on Veterans Day, so we'll see you on
Nope.
November 25th.
November 25th.